What's happening in Gaza is the shame of the century. Gaza has been erased. There is almost nothing left other than the despair of people who continue to perish there. Look at the acts of torture. Look at who's been killed. Doctors, nurses, students, mothers, children. 17,000 children. To look at what the soldiers have done and said, and then have the courage to say that this is not genocide. This genocide would have not been possible without the shocking cover-up by the media. The role that corporate media played in justifying crimes, in spreading misinformation like the 40 beheaded babies, the role of international media, of Western media in acting in defense of the acts of a genocidal state. This is unprecedented, but it's also revealing of the global situation we are facing, the fact that this is not just the genocide of the Palestinians committed by Israel. A number of Western countries are complicit, and so this is an opportunity to interrogate the system we live in, the checks and balances we have as a global community, how people in the West trying to stop the genocide have been repressed. There is momentum and goodwill to make a change, and people feel at loss because they look at their politicians who are in bad faith, especially those who claim to be human rights lawyers. Side is also the consequence of the enduring impunity that Israel has been granted since its foundation. Israel has been allowed to violate hundreds of UN resolutions. And this is the result. A state that behaves as if it was above the law, and the state that becomes repressive against those who are trying to hold it accountable. This protracted impunity of Israel, including in the face of clearly war crimes, crimes against humanity, and plausibly genocide. In the face of all this, what remains of the international legal system? So we are at a critical juncture. We still have the possibility to step back from the precipice we are staring at. But we need to act in order to change that pattern of lack of accountability. This is why I think that it's important that where democracies or quasi-democracies still exist, ordinary citizens, people from all paths of life make their voice heard, to hold our politicians accountable, our institutions accountable, to make sure that, for example, in the UK, you have citizens who are fighting in the Israeli army. You have UK citizens who live in the settlements. It's time to hold people accountable. Striking is the lack of empathy. If you cannot empathize with the Palestinians who have been killed in dozens of thousands and been maimed, their homes have been destroyed, there is nothing to return to, and they've lived for 1 year under constant bombing, moving from one place to another, really on survival mode. How cannot we empathize with them, with their tragedy? This speaks to our racism. Certain lives are more worthy than others. Clearly, the Palestinians do not rank very high. For many, it's dehumanization that leads to the commission of these atrocities and thus justified the erasure of Gaza, the killing of Palestinians, and even the torture and rape. This is one case in which we cannot miss the genocidal intent, which must be attributed to the state and its totality of conduct, its totality of crimes against the totality of the Palestinian in the totality of the land that Israel occupies. Sometime in the coming future, I cannot predict in how long, we will have to come to terms with the fact that we will not be able to say that we didn't know, because this has been a live-streamed 24/7 genocide. We knew in real time what was happening, why it was happening, the excuses that were made by the media and politicians in Israel and beyond across the West. We will have to come to terms with our own conscience. And I think there will be a lot of regrets. But because of that, I say, let's act now to stop the genocide.